Domain 2, describe cloud computing core topics. So this is what we need to start from, actually things which are important. So in 1 minute I will tell you in this module what we will be covering. So in this module basically we will be covering about the cloud concepts. So if you see here, that is a big cloud, that is a big question mark also. So, what is this big cloud? That big cloud, we already discussed that there will be a big building over there which we cannot see. Maybe it will be in UAE, maybe it will be in Qatar, or maybe it will be in US. So, we cannot directly see that thing. Like if you see the idea of cloud, cloud is over the sky. Maybe it will be on the left side, maybe it will be on the right side somewhere. So we don't know exactly where the cloud is, but there will be a physical location which we will be understanding. So first we will be understanding what cloud is, what is mean by cloud, why we are discussing that cloud. Second, we will be understanding about the cloud computing. Like if there is a cloud, there will be some kind of services also. So we will understand what kind of services they are providing or what is mean by cloud computing. Then the most important topic will be shared responsibility model. Now, now you are not holding things in your area, so you are not only the responsible. You are putting things on someone else infrastructure, so they will also responsible. So we will understand how much responsibility is on our head and how much responsibility on the cloud side. Like if I am putting my website data to the cloud on Microsoft, so they will take responsibility of my data, they will take responsibility of my machine, they will take responsibility of physical stealing server. So some of the responsibility will be on the cloud side and some of the responsibility will be still on us. Like I need to manage my data, I need to copy paste my data, that will be my responsibility. And if there is a problem with physical server, they will be having responsibility. So we will be understanding how much responsibility they will take and how much responsibility will be on our head. After that, we will understand different cloud models. Cloud models mean some people will go for the public cloud, some people will go for the private cloud, and some people will be using both, mix of that, hybrid. Like if people will be using public cloud, there will be concern of security because that will be the shared model. Many companies will be using the same server or same cloud. So some companies will say, we don't want to share any resource. So there will be a security problem. So some people use public cloud. Some people, because of security, they will say that no, we will buy the whole server, we will buy the whole cloud. We don't want to share with anyone. That will be private cloud. But sometimes companies also need to save money. They also need to use their own data center plus cloud services. That will be the hybrid model. Like companies will be using their own servers also. Companies will be sharing some information over the public cloud also. And maybe companies will be taking some private services. So it will be a mix of both. After that, we will be understanding appropriate use of different cloud services, like each cloud model. So we will understand what are the services available, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service, software as a service. So we will see different models. After that, we will see consumption-based model. Consumption-based, how we are utilizing and how much we are utilizing. So we will see how we can consume these services. And after that, we will compare the pricing at the end. Like if I am taking services from the cloud, what is benefit to me? How I am saving the cost? Obviously, I was using my own data center. I spent too much money, like a $50,000 before. Now I am going to the cloud. If cloud is also costing me much, then what is the use for that? So we will compare these two models. What was the benefit of the local and what is the benefit going to the cloud? And what is the cost I can make it for my own data center and what is the cost which is for the cloud services. So we will compare these two things and then we will go on. Now we will discuss one by one these all things. So First thing first, what is cloud? Do you have any idea about the cloud before? So cloud is basically refers to the servers, storage, database, networking, what we have discussed before. So that is basically not in our company now. Like if you can say that we are having some servers, we are having some storage for data, we are having databases, networking, and different kind of software. So all these kind of things we have in IT nowadays. But before we were putting on a separate room in our company, and we were having electricity and we were having guard and camera and everything like that for that room. That is called data center. But nowadays all these services we are putting on the internet, like someone else infrastructure. If it is Microsoft, they will be having a big building, and in that big building they will be having different data centers, and we will be putting our data and everything on their side. Or you can say that for us it is an internet, because we cannot see their data center. But what cloud is basically simply everything what we have, we are just putting on the internet, or we can say that specifically that is called cloud. That is for the personal computer or local servers. So all these servers and services we are just putting over the cloud. That is what we means. The cloud basically doesn't mean that it is a separate something else or logical entity. No, there will be a physical data center, but we will be putting our services on the cloud. That is why we are saying that that is cloud. So we will be putting our live application infrastructure and your machines and everything is on the cloud, which is provided by Azure and AWS and GCP. So basically Azure is a product of Microsoft. If we are using the Microsoft services, we will call it Azure. If we are taking rental services from Amazon, their services is called AWS. And if we are taking services from GCP, that is from Google. So these are the three main providers, but these two we are not discussing in this course, because they have their own courses and they have their own infrastructure and they have their own certification track and their own services name, which are different from Azure, but functionality will be same. But if we will understand Azure concepts, we will also can configure AWS and GCP services. There is no problem, because nowadays when we are putting our CV for job, they are saying from these three, one of the company you should know, or one of the company certification you should have. So what are the different characteristics? That is on demand. On demand mean before we were having, for example, one hard disk. I already given the example that is full. What is the option? We cannot put more data on that device. So what we need to do, we need to go to the market and we need to bring a new hard drive, and then we can add data. That is now gone. We don't need any hard drive. What we will do, we are using their services, their hard drives, whatever data we want to put, whenever we need to put, that is on demand. Like today, I want to put 10 GB data. Okay, fine. They will say, okay, put it. You will get bill at the end of month for 10 GB. But next month, maybe I need to put 20 GB data. They will say, okay, no problem. Our hard disks are big. You can put it more. So that is mean by on demand. Whenever our demand is, how much our demand is, we can use their hard disk and we can put the data. And not only to put the data. If we want to remove the data, we will remove the data. Like before I put it 10 GB, next month I put it 20 GB. Third month, I want to delete 15 GB and I just want to keep 5 GB. They will say, okay, delete 15 GB data. We will just give you a bill after 1 month only for 5 GB. So that is mean by on demand. Anytime our demand increase, we will put data. Anytime our demand decrease, we will delete data. Whatever data will be there, we will be just costing on. So that is just one example of on demand. There is another example. Today, I am using their server with 4 GB RAM. Next day, I want to use 8 GB RAM. So, in physical environment, what I can do? I need to go to market and I need to bring new hard drive or new RAM. That is not possible. So what I will do on the cloud, I will just simply use 4 GB RAM. If I want 8 GB RAM, I will just one click on the portal and it will increase the 8 GB RAM. That is very fast. So on demand, whenever I want to increase the services, on demand, when I want to increase the things or decrease the things, it is possible. So that is the big characteristic of the cloud. Second thing is scalability. Anytime I can scale things, I can increase things, I can decrease things. Anytime pay as you go. Pay as you go mean whatever I am using, I am only paying for that. Like for example, if I am using their 10 services, I will pay only for these 10 services. I will not pay for their 200 services. If I am using one service, I will only pay for that service. Not only this, if I am using service for 24 hours, I will pay for 24 hours. If I am only using their services for 1 hour per day, I will not pay for 24 hours. I will pay only just 1 hour. That is mean by pay as you go. How much you will use, how much time you will get only bill for that. Like same, you are living in UAE. If you will use AC 1 hour per day, you will not get bill at the end of month from Etisalat or that is what is company Siva or Diva. They will give you bill only for 1 hour. If you are on vacation for 1 hour, 1 month, you are not using the AC, you will not get bill because you didn't use that one. So that is pay as you go. On the cloud, it's a rental service. If you will pay for if you will use for 1 hour, you will get bill only for 1 hour. Like it's living in a hotel. If you will be renting a room in the hotel, if you want to stay for only one night, you will pay for one night. If you want to stay for 1 month, you need to pay for 1 month. Or if you just want to stay for 1 hour meeting, you will pay only for 1 hour. So that is the pay as you go service. Global reach. That is very important service from cloud. Globally reach mean if you have a local data center in UAE and you are on vacation in India and you want to access the service from India, maybe your company will restrict. Your company will say, no, you cannot access our server from India or you cannot access server from outside. So that is limited. But cloud is not limited. Cloud is global. If you are working here, your data is in US and you are in India, you can get the server from anywhere. Like you want to log into the server, whether you are in India, whether you are in US, anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, you can get these services anytime, anywhere. That is global reach. Finally, we have managed infrastructure. We don't need to manage the data center. We don't need to put security guard outside. We don't need to put cameras outside. We don't need to manage security. We don't need to manage infrastructure because Microsoft is already managing these services. So these are the main benefits of using the cloud. Anytime we can increase, we can scale. Whatever we are using, we will pay. Wherever you are, we can get the services and the managed infrastructure, which will be managed by the Microsoft, not by us. So we will be saving money. Like we don't need to buy or we don't need to hire a security guard to manage the data center. So we already having data center with Microsoft, they will be managing. Different examples in daily life also we have about the cloud. We are using everyday Google Drive. Like you are using a phone and your phone memory is less, you want to put a data on the drive. So you can use Google Drive. That is some kind of cloud. You can also use OneDrive or Dropbox. So these are different services which are the example of cloud. Whenever you are using iPhone, your iPhone memory is full and you want to put the data over the cloud. So you will use iCloud. iCloud is an example of daily life. So these are all cloud. Like if you are watching a movies over the Netflix or YouTube, these are also cloud services. Like you just get the subscription of Netflix of $20 or $30. Every month you are paying for that money and you can continue the Netflix services. If you will not pay for that, you will not get Netflix services. So Netflix is also and YouTube is also example of cloud services. And finally, most important, every day you are using Gmail and Outlook emails. These are also cloud services. So you are daily basis using Gmail or Outlook and Live and these kind of company emails. So all are examples of cloud. Finally, in short, if you will say, using someone else powerful computers and infrastructure. So that is the main point is here. What is cloud mean? That is not yours. You are just renting out or you are just using someone else powerful computers and infrastructure over the internet. Why? To depending on the on whatever you want to need, you can get it. So that is overall about the cloud. What is cloud? What are the different characteristics and what are the different daily life examples? Next, we understood now what cloud is and what is mean by cloud computing. Now, what we can do with the cloud? We can do our daily life things. We can do our computation. We can store our data. We can use their networking. So that is mean by cloud computing. It is a delivery of computing services over the internet. So basically, they are delivering. Like I have given the example of Amazon. Amazon was just selling, purchasing things. You need some kind of product. You were going to the internet to the Amazon. You were logging into the account. You were ordering things, and they were delivering order at your home. Same thing is happening now in the cloud also. But this time you are not purchasing the product. You are purchasing their computing services. Maybe it can be database, what we have discussed in first session. Maybe it can be some kind of virtual machine. It can be storage. It can be management service. So that is just a delivery of computing services. That is mean by cloud computing. So what cloud is? Cloud is some data center over there, which we cannot see, but we can use. But how we will be utilizing this cloud or how we will be taking the services or how they will be delivering the communication services to us over the internet, that is called cloud computing. Cloud computing services include the infrastructure such as virtual machine, storage, database, and networking. We already understood this that these are the services they can deliver to us. Nowadays, with the traditional offering also, we can have IoT, ML, and AI. We already understood that these are the advanced topics also included nowadays. We can use different artificial intelligence services, by machine learning, and Internet of Things services over the cloud nowadays. We don't need to use our own AI system. Same cloud was having characteristics. Cloud computing also have almost similar characteristics on demand because we understood in the cloud that was on demand. Whenever we need something, we can increase or decrease. But cloud computing is also on demand. Whenever we need service, we can have service. Whenever we don't need service, we can delete the service or we can delete the account. We will not get charged. So, for example, I need a storage service for some time. I will take it as a cloud computing service. After 10 minutes, after 1 hour, I don't need that service. I will just delete that storage account and I will not get charged. So that is also on demand. Broad network access, like we understood in the cloud, that is global. So cloud computing is also global, broad network access. Anytime, anywhere, over the internet, we can access that service. And whenever we need to use this service, it will be available. Like same Netflix or phone or tablet or laptop. Like one day I am using Netflix on my TV. Next day I am using on phone. Next day I am using on tablet, on iTab and laptop. So that is a broad access. Anytime I can log into Netflix on my phone. Anytime Netflix I am logging on to my laptop, on my TV. So that is the example of broad access. Anywhere, anytime you can log in. It's like a global service. Rapid elasticity or scalability. Anytime I want to increase the services on demand, I can increase. Like before, I was having one account, I was using 10 services. Now my company is growing. I want to increase the company account. I want to increase the services. Simply, I will just order the services and they will say that, okay, take that services. That is rapid elasticity or scalability. Like, for example, if you already order on Amazon 10 services and they said, okay, you will get these product in 2 days. But within 2 days, you thought, okay, these things are not enough. I want to add five more products inside. So before the delivery, you will add five more products and they will deliver you 15 products. That is scalability. Myard services pay as you go. We already understood in the cloud section. Same, pay as you go. Whatever you will use, you will only pay for that. High availability and reliability. That is very important. High availability mean that it will be available all the time. Like for example, if you have only one computer in your home, if that computer goes down, battery goes down, or there is no electricity in your home, what you will do? You cannot take that lecture because you have only one laptop and you have only one internet connection, or you have only one electricity connection. If one of them goes down, you cannot take that lecture. So that is fault in your system. But for the cloud services, that will not happen because they will have alternative. If one server goes down, second will be available. Second goes down, third will be available. If third will go down, fourth will. If the whole region will go down, there will be another region available. So that is how they manage high availability because they are very reliable. You cannot say that we take services from UAE. If the UAE region goes down, how I will be using my services? No, they will be having alternative also. They will always have high availability. And the main concern is nowadays security and compliance because if we are putting our data to the cloud, maybe there is a problem with that data. So we need to understand how Microsoft and Amazon is securing our data. So we will understand different security and compliance. So that is why we are having protected data. Same examples also daily life understood before already the same Google Drive, OneDrive did. So these are the same example. I am quoting again about the cloud computing because cloud and cloud computing is almost same. Over the cloud computing is there. So we can use every day Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, and also Netflix, YouTube, and Gmail, Outlook. These are the example of also cloud computing because cloud and cloud computing is also similar concept. So the main difference between cloud and cloud computing is cloud is an entity somewhere, or you can say that it's a data center or physical entity we can use or we can rent out. If we talk about what are the services on that cloud, that is called cloud computing. Like we are using cloud from Microsoft, they have a data center somewhere, that is cloud. But what services we are using from that cloud, which is called cloud computing. Any question? You understood about cloud and cloud computing? Okay. Next is which we already understood about shared responsibility model. Now we are using services from Microsoft. We are putting data on the Microsoft. We are using their services. So who will be responsible for what service? What is the responsibility from us? And what will be the responsibility from the Microsoft? Because we are now jointly working together. We are giving our data to the cloud, we are using their services, so they need to protect our data, they need to protect our services, they need to protect our servers. So some of the responsibility will be coming from the Microsoft and some of the responsibility will be on our side or customer side. So specifically, if we see here, this model is called cloud responsibility model, and sometime we call it shared responsibility model. So sometime you will see this name and sometime you will call it cloud responsibility model or shared responsibility. It's the same name, but it's just a general two terms we can use. So it is a responsibility are divided between the cloud provider and the customer. So basically we can say that this is a service we are putting on the cloud, and how much we will be responsible and how much they will be responsible. So cloud provider will be responsible for some and cloud customer will be responsible for some. So this is the chart. Like there are three services: SaaS, PaaS, IaaS, and on-prem data center. So that is what we are not using now, because if we will be using on-premises, that is the older model, everything was by our responsibility. So everything we were using in our data center, we were responsible for that. That is, you can say that 100% is our responsibility or our cloud responsibility. So that was on premises. On premises mean in your company, your own data center, your own room, your own servers. So that was 100% was the responsibility of client. Next is infrastructure as a service. IaaS, infrastructure as a service. It's the same like you are renting a room in UAE, but that room, if you will go for that, so these things will be responsible by the owner side. Why? Because physically that will not yours. Physically that will be property of their side. Physical network they will manage and physical data center they will manage. So these three things will be responsible by the Microsoft. Like they will manage the physical data center, they will manage the network, they will manage the servers and everything with the responsibility of Microsoft. But everything else will be our responsibility. Like we will manage our operating system, we will manage our network operation, applications, and all above things we will be our responsibility. Like if something happened to the Windows, if something happened to the application, if something happened to your account, someone hack your account, that responsibility Microsoft will not take. Microsoft will say, you took the service as an infrastructure, so you are just taking infrastructure. What is mean by infrastructure? Hardware. You are purchasing our hardware, not purchasing, sorry. You are renting out our hardware. That is our responsibility. Physical servers is our responsibility. But what you installed inside operating system, application, data, and all these things, that will be your responsibility. But if you will go for platform as a service PaaS, platform mean that will be also having some of the responsibility to the cloud. Like now they are also responsible for the operating system. Before they were not involved in the operating system management, like there is a Windows install. So in infrastructure as a service, they said that we are not responsible, but now they are responsible. And also they are sharing 50-50 responsibilities with other services also, like with application they will be 50% involved, and then they will be also responsible 50% for your identity, like your accounts and your services also, but not 100%. So these things in between will be 50-50, and overall if you see this model, it is almost 50-50. 50% we are responsible and almost 50% they are responsible. If you see here, like 4 blocks they are responsible, and 3 to 4 blocks we are responsible, and in between 3 blocks also 50-50. So it is almost 50-50%. 50% we are responsible and 50% they are responsible. But if we will go for SaaS, software as a service, so almost most of the things they will be responsible, or you can say that 70% they will be responsible and only 30% we will be responsible. Like we will be only responsible of our accounts and data, nothing else. Everything else will be responsibility of the Microsoft. So these three models are available all the time. If you want to go for infrastructure as a service, obviously 70% will be our responsibility, but the cost will be less. We will be paying only 30% in cost, because mostly things we are managing. If we will go for PaaS, we want to give more responsibility. We don't want to hire our own engineers. So 50% will be our responsibility and 50% will be Microsoft's responsibility. But if we also want to give more responsibilities to the customer, to the Microsoft, like we don't want to hire our application engineers also, they want to manage also application. Obviously, we will pay a little more cost and they will be managing our application also. So we will be only responsible for our data and accounts only, nothing else. So whatever company required, if company have big engineers, they can go for infrastructure as a service. If company have different kind of developers, they can go for platform as a service. But if company don't want to get any engineers, they just want to take the services from the cloud and they want to give it to their users, simply they will go for SaaS. But as per cost, On-prem will be 100% cost for yourself. IaaS will be having 70% cost. You will be bearing 30% Microsoft. PaaS 50-50, and SaaS only 30% Microsoft will be, and 70% you will be managing, or 70% cost will be beared by the Microsoft. So that is what we can understand. So the key point here is you customer will be managing all the data all the time. So whatever the model is, data will be your responsibility. What cloud providing is all time data centers, physical aspect or physical data center and all. Like you can say that generally according to data you will be all the time responsible, and according to the physical aspect or physical hardware Microsoft will always responsible. And what is in between, it will be operating system, network, account and application. It will be almost 50-50. 50% you, 50% you. So you can say that as per data you are responsible 100%, as per hardware they are responsible, and in between these services will be 50-50. Any question here? Okay. After understanding who is responsible for what, we are responsible and they are responsible, it's a mix. It's up to the service. If you're taking infrastructure, it's different, PaaS different, SaaS different. Next, we have different cloud models. Now you are decided that you want to go to the cloud. Which model you will use? First model is private, public. Second is private. Third one is hybrid. So what is mean by public? We already understood public means that it is owned by the Microsoft, Google, or whatever, delivered to the internet, but they will be sharing with other customers also. Like you want to take a service, they will give you one service, but that service can be shared with the other customer. So you can have a problem of security or something like that. So if you will go for public services, there will be a security problem, but that will be cheap. That will not take you too much money. It will not much secure because other person will be using, but it will be cheap. Second one is private. Private mean that it will be exclusively by the organization, so you will be having all the infrastructure 100%. That will be secure, but that will not cheap, that will be very costly, because you don't want to share with anyone, like you want to own everything. That is why that one is very costly, but that will be very secure. So this one is not secure but cheap, but this one is secure but not cheap, so that is opposite each other. So you can decide whether you want to go for public service. For example, if you just want to host a website, you will take a public service. But if your data is very important, like it's a bank or it's a hospital or something data which is very important to you, so you will not go for the public, you will go for the private. So who manage this one? Obviously, public cloud will be managed by the cloud provider. And who manage this infrastructure? It will be managed by you because you are taking the responsibility for that. So customer responsibility will be manage the apps and all that only. But here, customer management responsibility will be everything because you are taking private cloud. So you will be managing each and everything. What is the example here? Example is Gmail, Azure, Virtual Machine, Dropbox, and these are the services which are publicly available. But in private, if you see business with strict security, compliance, and equivalency, so that will be very much secure. That will be open to everyone, like a Gmail and Azure and all that, free of services or little bit cost services. But if you don't want to go to these two, you can go for the hybrid model. Hybrid model mean it will be a mix of anything. You can use your own data center, plus you can take public services also, you can take private also. So you can mix with, like you can say that 20% services I will take public and 50% I will save that private, and 20% I will use my own data center. So you can mix all of these. You can use your own database, you can use your own data center also, or you can use the private services also. Example, a hospital mean keeps the record in a private cloud. Like I am having a hospital and I want to put my private data inside the private, and I have a website also for the hospital which I can just put it on the public cloud. Best for business is your flexibility and scalability. And now we also have another option, which is advanced option, which is a multi-cloud. Multi-cloud means that if you want to use more than one public cloud provider, like you are already using Azure, but you also want to use some services from Amazon, you can use Amazon services also. If you want to use some services from Google, you can also mix up these two. Like some companies are using compute services or server from the cloud, but storage services are not, they think, not good from Azure. So they can take storage services from Amazon, or maybe they can use account services from GCP. So that is multi cloud. If you are using Azure only, you can also use AWS and you can also use GCP. But the problem is here you need to create different accounts. You need to create a different account for Azure for only compute. You need to create a different account for the Microsoft. You need to create a different account for the AWS, and you need to manage. So the problem will be here management. How you will manage three different things. So that is what a company runs a website on Azure, but it uses Azure for AI services. So this is the main example for that. So in short, we can say that public cloud is shared, private cloud is secure, and hybrid cloud is mix of everything, and the multi cloud is multiple providers. Any questions here? Multi cloud, basically there are different three companies we already discussed. Amazon is also there, Microsoft is there, Google is there. So basically I am using one service from Azure, like I am using website, I am uploading website by Azure account, but I don't want to use other services from Microsoft. So I can get other services from AWS, Amazon. Like I want to host my data, but I am not using Azure. I can take another account and I can put my services on the AWS. So that is multi-cloud. This can also happen like this. For example, I am not relying on the internet connection of Azure. For example, if I am hosting my website in Azure, something happened to Azure, Azure is down, so my website will not work. So I will also take services from the GCP or Google Cloud. I'm also hosting my website there. Sorry, GCP? Yeah, GCP is Google Cloud Professional. Basically, this is also a certification from Google. You can become a Google Cloud Professional. Or here GCP doesn't mean Google Cloud Professional. Here GCP mean Google Cloud Provider. Yeah, Google Cloud Provider, because they are providing the Google Cloud services. So that is why this mean GCP mean Google Cloud Provider. But if we are getting the certification, then we will be Google Cloud Professional after getting this certification. AWS mean Amazon Web Services. Yeah. And Azure is the core product of Microsoft. Whenever you will listen about Azure, Azure mean that is cloud services from Azure. Sorry, Microsoft. Any question here? Okay. Next, we have consumption based model. Consumption based model mean that we already understood that if we will be using public services, that will be cheap, and if we will be using private services, that will be costly. So that will be the consumption of your, like you can say that that is related to money, how much money you will be posting. So two concept you need to understand about the money. What is capital expenditure and the second one is operational expenditure. So generally if you will understand these two, other than this example, capital expenditure mean your, like for example you want to build your own hospital. So what you will do, you will take a lot of money. First, you will purchase the land, then you will build the hospital, then you will hire the doctors, and then you will hire all the equipment. That is mean by capital expense. Like that, you need a one lump sum big amount. So that big amount is called capital expense or capital expenditure. But if you just want to utilize the services, or you are already have taken the services but you just want to pay monthly bill or yearly subscription, that is operational expenditure. So in the cloud environment we call it CapEx or OpEx. Understood the idea? Capital expense mean all the money you want to put it before starting the business. A lot of money, like thousands of dollar you need just to purchase things or purchase land or build the house or these kind of things. That is capital expenditure. But operational expenditure, like after that you will utilize the services and you are paying monthly electricity bill, or you are paying monthly or yearly subscription. So that is operational expense. So what is used by the cloud? Capital expenditures or operational expenditure? So in the cloud, we don't use capital expenditure. We don't purchase things. We don't purchase rooms. We don't purchase data center. We don't purchase servers. We always go for the operational expenditures. Like whatever we will use, we will just pay. So capital expenditure is just an upfront money which you will buy physical servers and all that. So it is one time money. That is a lot of money, but this is a fixed asset. Fixed asset mean you have to put a lot of money and you need to wait for that to recover that money. It's a lot of money. Yeah, like you build a hospital, you put a thousands of dollar, then you need to recover. So example is it's a buying servers, buying data centers, and everything you need to buy. Non-IT example mean purchasing a building or manufacturing equipment. So this is what you need to put a lot of money, which nowadays Microsoft and Amazon is saying you don't need to put a capital expenditure. You just need to go for operational expenditure, like it's an ongoing expense, daily basis. You will purchase a service, you will purchase a subscription. At the end of month, whatever you will use, you will get the bill only. Pay as you go. We already understood that cloud is pay as you go, cloud computing is pay as you go. Regular expense, that daily basis, how much services you will use. Regular bill will come, like electricity. How much you will use, you will get the bill. Example is paying the monthly Azure subscription or all these things. Non-example, paying the rent or paying the salaries or paying the utility bills. So that is non-technical example. But if you will go for the cloud, capital expenditure and operation expenditure, you will see that on premises, if you will use, then you have to pay a lot of capital. But if you will be using cloud services, you will go for CapEx. Sorry, OpEx, not the CapEx. So that is the big benefit on the cloud if we will understand the consumption based model. So in the consumption based model, we will just consume things and then we will pay the bill. That is mean by OpEx, not the CapEx. Any question? You have any question? So you understand the idea of CapEx and OpEx? Like for example, if you want to build a house in UAE, you need a capital expense or OpEx? CapEx. Obviously, because you need to buy a house, you need land, you need furniture, you need equipment, you need engineer to build the house. It's a lot of money. That is capex. But if you are living in a rental room, you are paying only the bill, you are paying only the rent. That is opex. Understand? Okay. Finally, we have a summary session here. What we discussed here, we will just have a look at, and then we will discuss what we have discussed. And if you have any question, then so first we have covered our first domain, that was introduction. Then we have covered domain two, which is concepts. In introduction, we understood what is Microsoft Azure, what is their services, what is Azure fundamental, how and who can take that fundamental, where is the path and what is the path for the certification. Next, in the technical environment, we understood about the cloud computing. We understood about the shared responsibility model, like 50-50 or something shared responsibility with Microsoft. We understood the models, public, private, hybrid cloud. We understood different cloud models, AaaS, PaaS, SaaS, and different approaches. And then we understood consumption-based model, CapEx, OpEx. And then we have compared these model, which one is best for the cloud. Any question in these points? Okay. Next upcoming session will be on domain 3 and domain 4. So we will understand about the using cloud services, different benefits, different cloud services, why we are using the cloud, why we are doing these things. And then we will understand the core services types like what is compute, what is storage, what is database, and different major services we will go little bit in detail.